All right, today we're diving into a new AWS service that could totally change how you build AI applications. It's called Amazon S3 Vectors, and it's designed to tackle one of the biggest challenges in AI, managing the data that gives it meaning. But, and this is the important part, it does it in a way that's serverless, super scalable, and seriously cost-effective.
So let's just start with a simple question. When you search for something these days, are you just looking for an exact word? Or are you really looking for an idea, a concept, the meaning behind the words? Because the way we all interact with data is changing in a big way. We're moving way beyond just matching text.
And this slide, well, it just lays it out perfectly. Over on the left, you've got your classic keyword search. You type in dog, you get back results with the word dog. Simple, literal, no surprises. But look at the right, that's semantic search. It actually understands the context, the relationships between ideas. So you can search for something like canine friend, and it's smart enough to figure out that you might be interested in a loyal puppy. It's searching for meaning, not just matching characters.
Now, this amazing capability is all powered by something called vector embeddings. You can think of them as a kind of universal language for your data, turning your text, your images, your audio into a string of numbers that captures its meaning. But, and this is the big but, as your data grows, storing and querying millions or even billions of these vectors gets tricky. You usually have to run these specialized, expensive databases 24/7, and that becomes a massive headache, both technically and financially.
And that right there is exactly the problem Amazon S3 Vectors is built to solve. It's AWS's purpose-built answer to make this incredible vector technology not just scalable, but also way, way more affordable for everybody.
So what is it really? Well, at its core, it's a vector storage service that's been massively optimized for cost because it's built on the rock-solid foundation of S3. The cost savings are huge because you're tapping into S3's super efficient storage pricing instead of paying for expensive, always-on database computers. And the real game changer here is that it's completely serverless. You just focus on building your AI, not on managing servers.
Okay, so that sounds great, but how does it actually work? Let's break it down and look at the core components, the building blocks that make S3 Vectors tick. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with something called a vector bucket. Now, this is not your everyday S3 bucket. Not at all. It's a brand new specialized type that's been engineered from the ground up just to handle vector data as efficiently as possible. This is the home base for your entire AI application. Then, inside that special bucket, you create what's called a vector index. Think of the index as the brain of the operation. It's not just a storage bin, it's what organizes all your vectors and makes those lightning-fast similarity searches possible, so you can find the closest conceptual matches in a snap. When you set up this index, you've got a few key dials to turn. First is the dimension. That's just the size of your vector, and it's got to match whatever AI model you're using to create them. Second is the distance metric, which is basically how the system calculates closeness or similarity. And third, you've got metadata. And this last one, oh man, this is where it gets really powerful. You can add tags to your vectors, like a product category, a date, a location, and then use those to filter your searches for incredibly precise results. So when you put it all together, the whole process is actually, well, it's pretty darn simple. You create the bucket, you define your index with those settings we just talked about. You load up your vectors and your metadata, and then you just start querying. It's a really clear, straightforward path to get powerful semantic search running. Okay, so that's all the how. But what about the why? Let's talk about the real-world impact here. What can you actually do with this stuff? And how well does it even perform? And honestly, the use cases here are they're huge. We're talking about building smarter search for your company's documents, powering better recommendation engines, spotting copyright issues in images or videos, or even finding duplicate images in a massive library. The possibilities are just about endless. I mean, just look at this one example from the medical field. Think about this for a second. The ability to search millions of medical images to find others that are conceptually similar. This isn't science fiction. This is something that could genuinely help doctors make better diagnoses and plan treatments. That's the kind of real-world, potentially life-changing impact we're talking about. And don't forget, this is built for some serious scale. A single one of these vector indexes can hold up to 50 million vectors. We're not talking about small-time hobby projects here. This is designed for massive enterprise-level AI workloads. But, scale means nothing if you can't find what you're looking for, right? Well, AWS is reporting an average recall performance of over 90%. In plain English, that just means it's really, really good at finding the right stuff. More than 9 times out of 10, it correctly pulls up the most relevant items in your data. It's not just big, it's also incredibly smart.
Okay, and of course, this being AWS, no service is an island. A huge part of the power here comes from how S3 Vectors plugs right into the rest of the AWS ecosystem. Two integrations in particular really stand out. First, with Amazon Bedrock, you can use S3 Vectors as this super cost-effective memory for your RAG applications. That's a huge deal if you're building smarter chatbots or internal knowledge bases. And second, it hooks into Amazon OpenSearch. This lets you build powerful hybrid search systems, combining the classic keyword search from OpenSearch with the new semantic search from S3 Vectors. So you literally get the best of both worlds in one solution.
So if you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. Amazon S3 Vectors is all about making this technology available to more people. It's taking this super powerful but often really complex and expensive world of vector search, and it's making it way more accessible and affordable for everyone by building it on S3. It just completely lowers the barrier to entry for developers everywhere. And that really just leaves us with one big question to chew on. As the cost and the complexity of managing all this AI data keeps dropping, what's the next wave of innovation going to look like? Could this kind of cost-optimized approach be the real key to finally unlocking powerful, meaningful AI for everyone? It's going to be fascinating to watch.